We're here with T.C. Nixon. He is running for Troup County Commissioner. T.C., thanks for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I want you to take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm born and raised here in LaGrange. My family's from LaGrange. My dad was retired from the sheriff's office after 30 years here. I've done just over 20 years in law enforcement. I was with the sheriff's office for nearly 5 years. Then I changed my direction in careers, and now I'm working as an insurance agent and doing sales rep for a roofing company also. I moved away for a little while. Decided it was time for me to come back home. I love LaGrange. It's where I've always wanted to be back. We bought a house here in 2022, moved back to LaGrange, and that's where I decided it's after I got out of law enforcement, it was time for me to try to make some changes that I could in the county.
Oh, good. Tell us about your experience that you think is relevant in being a county commissioner, mm-hmm. and what caused you to want to run for office?
Working for the county, I got to see a lot of the inside actions of how everything went and how everything went with public safety as far as law enforcement went. I saw some of how it worked for the fire department also. I was able to see how the county commissioners have done things, and that kind of is what pushed me to do things. More of the tipping point was, I would say, actually the trash situation. That being forced on us was not something I felt was handled correctly, and that kind of just put it over the tipping point that I wanted to get more involved.
Well, that leads me to one of our questions was the private sanitation mm-hmm. that was put in place, and it was a vote, I believe it was 3-2 for the sanitation privatization, and it is almost at a year, I believe. So,
right up, yeah.
So that contract is going to be up for renewal or change. What do you recommend if you're elected as a commissioner? What is your path forward on that?
First of all, I felt we should have been, actually, the citizens of the county should have been listened to a lot more. There was a lot of public opinion as far as how it was not handled correctly, and even when it came time to vote, the public was not really listened to, and that's who we're the voice for. We should listen to the public, and so that's what we should do more this time. And that's my entire stance, is being a voice for the public, to listen to them and kind of relay their message to the county commissioners where it needs to be relayed. And if it's coming up time for that to be renewed, I do feel we should open it up further and find a better way to do this.
And from my understanding is it wasn't sustainable, as they were looking for a reduction in cost mm-hmm.
That
associated with the sanitation. So how would you handle that? Do you think it probably should be kept private, or and looked at in different ways, or what is your opinion on bringing something that is going to be burdensome on cost to the county?
I don't really mind keeping it private, but I do feel forcing a single company on us is not the way it should be done. To me, that kind of monopolizes it. So we should be able to actually have a choice on what company we want to go with. We have a company here locally that does it, and they did it before. So I don't see what would be a problem with allowing them to do it again.
Right. Okay, great to know your stance on that. There is a lot of talk on housing mm-hmm. and needing affordable housing across Troup County. Mm-hmm. Currently, there's discussion of some people wanting to be able to build smaller homes mm-hmm. in the county. Would you support owners being able to build on their property homes less than 1,000 square feet?
Less than 1,000 square feet, that's kind of, you're packing a lot of people into small areas. I know a lot of...
Well, still with the same requirement on land use, but a smaller home. If someone wanted to build a smaller home, that's been the discussion. High density is intended for utilities that are available, sewer, water. So high density for the city, but we've had residents that have requested to be able to build less than 1,000 square feet on their land in the county.
If it's your land in the county, if it meets the requirements, you should be able to build whatever you want. I mean, that's part of why we live in this country, mm-hmm. because we have the ability to have the freedom to do as we choose. And I don't feel that we should be able to step in and tell somebody, well, yeah, you meet these requirements, but your house is too small, you're not going to be able to do it. If it meets the requirements for building in the county outside of the square footage. So, I mean, if somebody's, like my parents, when they rebuilt their house, they downsized. If it's somebody that's wanting to downsize, why would they need a certain large square footage house for 2 people?
Okay, so you would support changing the ordinances so that homes under 1,000 square feet could be built?
To meet the standards, yeah.
Okay. Another vote that recently happened was with short-term rentals. And it was put in place additional restrictions that you have to own the home at least 3 years in order to apply for a short-term rental permit. And you can only rent your property for a maximum of 175 days. What is your position on this?
It works well in a lot of other areas. The Airbnbs and people using like Verbo and stuff like that. It works for tourist areas. If we have the need for it and it brings in tourists, it brings in tax income, or brings in money flow for the county, I don't really see an issue with that. I mean, that's if we can prosper as a county and progress, but still be able to maintain our current way of life, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay, so would you be open to that ordinance being reviewed again with modifications?
We can review it to look at it and see exactly how they want it done.
Tell us about what you think is the biggest challenge that's facing Troup County.
The good old boy system. To be honest, it's the system that we currently have. They don't feel that they don't want to progress how we should. Yeah, I do like having an area. I like be able to have the small town feel, but it's adapt or die. I mean, that's kind of how the world works.
What is your opinion with collaboration between the county, the cities, the school system?
We all work together for the same cause, for the citizens of this county, for the betterment of our citizens. So I feel we should all work together.
What is something that you would like to do proactively in collaborating with other organizations and departments?
I know kind of the biggest issue that's been brought to my attention has been the school tax for elderly. That is something that I would like to address. I can't do it by myself, but it is something I would like to address with the county commissioners and the tax commissioner.
And that would be involved with the school system as well. And we actually talked about this with one of the school board interviews earlier, is that in order to, if the senior tax was eliminated for the school system wouldn't be able to operate. There's just not enough funds to operate. And in Troup County, we actually have had an increase in seniors, and we've had an 8% decrease in ages 19 and under in Troup County over the last 10 years. So that could continue. Actually, the projection from the state office is expecting that trend to continue in Troup County. So with those demographic changes happening, how do you see it affecting our services and everything else in the community?
You can't really cut something out that does support it. I'm not going to say that we need to cut it out completely, but I do feel there should be some kind of modification.
And then also, what would you do in collaborating with the school system to be able to benefit the school? So I believe that our youth is our future in this community. And I believe this election is very important because we have a new superintendent coming in, and we have several positions on the school board that are going to be new position, or new. Everyone running will be new for that position.
Correct.
And so if we are not collaborating and working towards excellence in our school system, then we are missing an opportunity for the future of our community and looking long term. So do you have any ideas on how there could be more collaboration between the county and the school system?
Well, that's where we need to just kind of put personal feelings aside and sit down with each other and actually decide what's best for the county. It's if we're not working with each other, we're working against each other. So the school board, county commissioners do need to work together, sit down and actually talk to each other.
Okay. Is there any other topic that you think is important to Troup County right now?
Public safety. Because as it sits right now, our public safety is the lowest paid in the area. We're constantly losing officers to other counties that are paying higher and have better benefits. We're constantly losing seasoned officers that are going, elsewhere. We need to be able to actually retain those people and keep them here. And because we can't protect the county, we don't have a county.
Right. And that's actually was one of my questions is how are we going to be able to fill, there's multiple openings at the sheriff and deputies, the sheriff's office with deputies, and Troup County Fire Department has multiple openings.
Correct.
So how are those going to be filled?
That's where we work with the sheriff and determine exactly what they need, and we determine what the areas around us, what they're paying, and then we need to actually make sure that we're paying our deputies for the job they're doing. It's a thankless job. It's a job that a lot of people don't want to do, but a lot of people do criticize for the people that actually do get out and do it. So we definitely need to pay those guys and those women for exactly the hard work they're doing.
And so everyone is under a financial crunch now. Financial pressure in the home, in organizations, and in our community with our government is also having pressure financially. So what is something that you would like to, or not that you would like to, you have to make hard decisions sometimes to balance the budget, knowing that we possibly need to pay our service, higher, then what could you cut in order to be able to be more competitive in some of our positions that have openings?
Honestly, looking at the past salaries with our current administration in the county, I honestly think that certain salaries need to be cut. Because we have people that are making quite a bit of money for positions that don't need to be making that much. That money can be allocated for better funds. Okay.
And we're going to let you take a couple of minutes and tell why the community should vote for you, TC.
Because this is my home. This is where I live. This is where I raise my family. And I want nothing but the future for this county to be better. We can progress, and I 100% want nothing but what's best for the citizens of this county, and that's the people that I'm going to listen to. Those are the people that I want to actually work for, and those are the people I'm going to get out there and fight for, and I will continue to fight for every day that I'm in there.
Well, TC, thank you so much for being with us today, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you.